Where do I begin? 5 months. 5 months. I've spent 5 months in the US. That's the longest I've ever been away from Cameroon, away from my parents, away from my siblings, away from everything that I've known for the past 28 years. How does that feel like? It's something that I've thought about, and in this video I actually want to give you some updates on what I've been doing and what has really happened in 5 months. Like, really, what's happened in 5 months? And I guess the order of things is we'll start with an apology and then an explanation. So I want to apologize for not putting up a video in 2 months, and then I'm going to continue now my explanation of whatever happened. I know, I'm not feeling cold. I just did this because it was like, cool. So I'm like, stuff. Anyway, let me get back to my thing. Let's do this. So, I've working on a bunch of videos. Because I figured out when I did my first video that you can watch here that I did not think this through. I did not consider what it really meant to do a YouTube channel, to like run a YouTube channel, and I did not consider how much stress it was going to be, especially because I'd moved from Cameroon. So let's start with moving. Why did I move in the first place? I moved for one very simple reason, which the other reasons now happen to accrue around because, they're pretty good reasons. But the real reason and the only reason why I'm here in the US is because of my wife. We met in high school. She moved here 12 years ago. I moved to the US because of my wife. She's the only reason why I'm here, and I usually tell her like, hey, by the way, if you weren't here, I would not be here, which is the truth. She wanted me to move here a long time ago, but I did not. I thought I could stay in Cameroon and change the world, and I thought that I could be the one who would change the landscape of creativity in the whole country, which is something that I still believe in, but my perspective has changed. I moved here so that we could get married and build a family, and because I love her and she loves me. She's the only person who can actually handle this mess of a person, because I am weird, I am quirky, I have my own way of looking at the world, and honestly, anybody who is my friend, Anne-Marie, I'm talking to you, Howard, Mark, Les, my parents, my siblings, anybody who knows me in any way knows that I'm probably one of the weirdest people that you come across. And I know it doesn't come across on the video because, this is just, you only see what I let you see. You don't see the parts where I'm confused about what I want to do. You don't see the parts where I feel really sad to the point of depression about my journey as a creative and what I want to accomplish in my life. You don't see the times where I'm thinking about death, thinking about what I want to accomplish and the things that I haven't done yet. You don't see the 5 months that I spent here every single day, not being able to move because I don't have a driver's license, not being able to work because I don't have a work permit, not seeing my parents, not having friends that I've known for 28 years of my existence. Like, when we look at things on the internet, like, you only see what people want you to see. You don't see the hard work, you don't see the difficulty, and that's why many people now really enjoy entrepreneurs or other creatives who show them the truth about what it means to be an entrepreneur, to be a creative, to be a good parent. The internet allows us to document these things, and that's what I'm here. I want to tell you I'm sorry for not posting a video. The first video I posted was 2 months ago, and this is the next one that you're listening to or that you're watching. It was not intentional, I can assure you. Yet, weirdly enough, the video talks about procrastination, and I think that's what I did. I can't make an excuse for it because it doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help me, it doesn't help you. I can give you a list of all the things that went wrong. And the fact is, those things went wrong. Truth. Things messed up. I had a terrible encounter with snow. I felt sick because it was weird on my body. I felt homesick because I couldn't see my parents. I felt homesick because I couldn't see my friends and my siblings. I felt bad that I had all these creative ideas, but the schedule of the life here and my wife being around and the way she wanted things to happen at the time and the way I wanted things to happen at the time, there was a difficulty in communication because we've known each other for 12 years, 13 years now. But this is the longest time we've lived in the same place. So I've been really thinking about the kind of content that I want to make, the kind of things I want to talk about, and what I want to be remembered for. And the feedback I got from the first video was really great. Like, I had awesome, great feedback. Kamga, you're epic, and this is great grammar, and this is beautiful, and I love how you're sharing everything. And I want to actually give a special shout out to 11 Acres, who really left a comment that got me thinking about coming back and doing this thing. And she's one of the reasons why this video is actually up right now, because I have been looking at all kinds of ways to come back, and I didn't think that I had what it takes or what it took to get here. I would think, oh, I need a tripod, oh, I need a camera, oh, I need lights, I need this, I need a stage, I need books, I need all these things. So I'll keep increasing the list of things that I need. And once there's a small thing that didn't work, I'm like, oh, yes, I don't need to do this anymore. People will understand. It's just YouTube anyway. Nobody's paying me for it. Nobody's doing anything for anything. So in the end, what I come to realize making this video and working for the past weeks to actually get a batch of content that I can produce on a consistent basis, it's nobody can stop you if you really want to do something, and nobody can actually force you if you don't want to do it. When you're in a situation where you think like, oh, I can't leave my job, or I can't leave this relationship, or I can't do this thing, you can, but you don't want to. Harsh, crude, true. But if you really think about what you can and can't do, and you put your mind to doing the things that you want to do, you end up doing them. So the reason why I didn't make a video for the past 2 months is because I didn't want to. Period. I could. I had what it took. I had the environment that allowed me to. My wife would understand if I needed time to do this video. I could sit down and work on my computer, even though I think it's still too weak to do it. But I didn't. My phone got bad, and I still could make things with the video, with the phone. But I didn't. I didn't want to make videos. Period. Why did I want to make videos? I didn't feel motivated enough. I didn't feel like I had what it took. I didn't feel like I had the tools that I wanted. I didn't feel that it was my place to sit here and talk about my American experience. Who am I to think that I can talk about my American experience? Who died and made me king of immigration thoughts? And that is probably never going to change. From all the books that I'm reading, because I'm reading a lot of books, as you can see, I read a lot of books. I still have a bunch of books that I'm reading. I have a to-read list that is long. I've made videos on the books that I've read already that will be coming out on a regular basis. And it's November. It's almost December. It's the end of 2018. This is a time for me, I think, and maybe for you to really consider what you've done in a year and what you want to do for the next year and the next decade. Because I think a lot about death in a way that sometimes makes me feel very creepy. I think about dying and leaving things undone, dying and not seeing things that I care about, or working on things that I don't like and not feeling that joy that I have when I'm making things because I like to make those things. One of the books that I've read that has really changed my perspective about work and provided me with the kind of mindset that I need is Audience of One by Srini Rao. And I will be doing a review on that. I've already made a bunch of videos, like I said. They'll be coming up at some point. And I think that it's the 5 months that I've spent here have really changed my perspective about work, about relationships, about life, about goals, about creativity, about friendship. It's been a learning experience, and it only gets better, I think, because everything that I see almost on a daily basis, the people that I meet, the conversations that I'm having, they're conversations that I've never had. I've never met, for example, people like my writers group, the Aurora's writers group that I met on Meetup, because Jen, my very good friend, told me to go on Meetup and search people, common interests. This is a group that has been so supportive, and I'm the only black person in the room. How do I feel about that? I honestly don't know. Like, in the beginning, I felt weird. I felt like, oh, this is odd. This is interesting. I didn't even know. I didn't have a vocabulary to put the words to it. Like, it's something that you can't explain, I think. Or maybe I can explain. I just don't want to. And I don't even have the vocabulary to explain it. But I know that it's something that I want to think about and see how does that actually help me to be a better person? How does that help me provide perspective to other people who might not know where I come from or who I am? How do I, like my wife always talks about representation, and the way she looks at race is, instead of separating people and doing like black only schools or black only events or black only things, like trying to separate people, why don't we actually be the representatives of the people that we're trying to fight for? As a Cameroonian, why don't I become the representation of what Cameroon is in America? Wherever you are, like it, and the whole idea of home, my mind has changed about home. Because here, my wife is here. I feel at home where she is. But my parents are in Cameroon. My siblings are in Cameroon. I talk to them on Skype, and I feel detached physically from them, but connected at a level that is too deep. So I start asking myself, what is home? What does it mean to actually have a home? Which actually led me to thinking about a podcast that I've done a couple of recordings. And there are all these things that are making me think in a different direction, are making me see the world in a different way. I'm starting to have opposing thoughts where I now write things on Facebook about, like I wrote, home is fluid, and I got comments that actually made me think, like, I like how this is going because not everybody agrees with me. And I feel that for a long time that I've been writing, almost every single person has been in agreement with what I was saying. When I write about relationships, people talk about, oh, that's so true, that's so right, I wish people would see the world like you. I've never actually gotten the kind of feedback where I can actually test and see if I believe what I'm saying, if I actually think that what I'm saying is true. Like, what is my stand? What do I believe in a way that nobody can actually shake? And this period of time where I had to sit with my thoughts and see the world, and especially spending so much time with my wife, who is extremely different from me. She's an extrovert. She's very independent, very strong-willed, very smart. Like the kind of person that I would love as a friend, generally speaking. But then you have now this conversation that occur where I have a very specific stand about something. She has a very specific stand about something. And now we have to find a way to communicate our stance, disagree without hating each other. And it's something that people don't talk about in relationships. You only see the good parts, like Bae has done this and Bae has done that, and this is amazing and this is beautiful. But the arguments and the nights where you're seated at the opposite sides of the bed, or the nights where you don't want to see, you don't want to talk, like the arguments where you raise your voice and like, why am I raising my voice? Why am I so angry? These are things that happened to me very recently that I find that I need to stop and not let the emotions take over. I need to stop and think, why is this happening? What is the best way out? Whether it's an argument with a friend, an argument with my wife, an argument with somebody that I've never ever met, like, is this my place to tell you what I think? And taking the other person's point of view, like, what if this is the way I was looking at the world? Would I agree with him? And probably the answer will be yes. And staying here, living here, seeing how different the system is, seeing, for example, that like the reason why I've not yet had my documents, because we're doing the applications and it takes some time for you to do it, and they give you like a time period. You know exactly how long it's going to take to get whatever it is that you're looking for. You go online and they tell you this application costs this amount of money, this is what you paid, and this is how you do it. Everything you need with the system, you can find it somewhere. You can ask anybody, well, most times, and the person will tell you what to do. There is no barrier to information. There is no gatekeeping that stops you from doing what you're supposed to do. Even the tax system promotes small businesses in a way that allows almost anybody who wants to start a business to start. Like, it's a radically different environment, which is something that I wrote on Facebook also, where I was talking about America and how different it is. Because my wife is a medical student, so we went to Ray for a residency interview, and we had this really amazing lunch with these people that I'll probably never forget for the rest of my life. And they were all so interested in Cameroon. And I spent so much time talking about, oh, this is the Anglophone crisis, and this is not even an Anglophone crisis, this is Anglophones and Francophones, and this is how the country is, and we have these 200 plus tribes, and this is how the food is different. And this man was so invested in the conversation, going to Google to find out, and actually being curious and feeling bad that he didn't know about Cameroon. And I was here thinking about the fact that I have never been to Marwa. I have never been to Eboloa. Like, I've never actually been to these places in my country, and I stand here and I need to represent this country. So do I need to feel bad that I'm out of the country, living in a place where I get the opportunity to share the best parts of the country, or feel great that I carry a history that I can now promote, no matter how small it is? It's the kind of conversation that makes me realize how blessed I am. And everybody, wherever they are, like 5 months here have shown me more about myself than my whole life in Cameroon, not in a way that is better, but in a way that is different. Which makes me now realize that the whole idea of bushfalling in America, and wherever you go to, wherever you live, it's not so much about the place, but about the mindset that you have. It's even in the same country. If you move from Buea and you go to Douala, say you think Douala has a better market for your business, it's not so much about the Douala environment. It's what you're thinking when you carry to Douala, what you stand for when you open your mouth to speak. Do you represent Buea in a way that people say, I know a guy from Buea, and he's a polite guy, he's a smart guy, he's a hardworking guy, he's responsible, he's honest. How do you represent Cameroonians? How do you represent people from Buea? How do you represent people from Bamenda? How do you represent the people that you care about? So my whole narrative now about home and country and place has all changed, because I don't feel, for example, that there's any symbolic thing that represents Cameroonians or even Africans. Like, people talk about Africa as, oh, Africans are, there's solidarity and there's hospitality and we dress well and there's culture. And then when you take a step back and then compare or look at it, you're like, what is the value that represents us as Cameroonians or as Africans that is a positive thing for the whole world? Not a competition about who is better at food or dance or anything. What is the thing that you bring to the table that everybody can benefit from? For me, that's what represents the people. What is it that Bayangi people bring to the table that everybody can actually say, you know what, I am proud of knowing you, a Bayangi person. And thinking about that, I'm always thinking about things, and that's why I read books a lot and I try to write a lot. And that's also why I'm making this YouTube channel, because the past week I've been doing recordings of batch of videos, because when I did the first video, I ran out of energy, a lot of things happened, I fell sick, I lost some stuff, we had death in the family, and there's things that really changed my perspective, and I've had to grow very fast in a way that now things can happen and I need to get back to my ground. Like, yeah, I failed this person, I disappointed this person, I was supposed to make this call, I did not do it. It's happened. Life happens. Always. Now, sitting there and crying doesn't change anything. And it's not something that you wake up and you learn how to do immediately. Like, it's not, you don't enjoy failure. People say failure is good, it's nice. Failure is only failure when you don't actually learn from it. And if you think of every single experience as an opportunity to learn, then you put yourself in a position where you always have an opportunity to grow. I always wanted to get a YouTube channel when I was in Cameroon. I always wanted to do something like this. But after watching all this bunch of YouTubers, especially people like Sean Cannell, whose book I actually got, YouTube Secrets, he runs this channel called Think Media and Video Influencer World co-runs with Benji Travis. It's like having so much information about what you want to do tends to actually slow you down. I feel now more strongly than ever that if you have an idea, you have something you want to do, the best way to do it is to get just enough information to start and then start. You will learn more from doing the things and failing than from thinking about all the things that could go wrong and then trying to make sure that they don't go wrong. Everything that I've learned, even in my relationship with my wife, all the parts where we actually enjoy are the parts where we had a fight, disagreement, and we're able to walk through it. Like, you leave from a disagreement stronger because you know, for example, more about yourself, more about the situation, more about the relationship, where something upsets her and I can find a way to not take it personal because she probably had a long day. She's upset about something, she's thinking about an interview, and her reaction to things are not exactly the way she had wanted them to be. And then she realizing also that, giving an apology, saying, you know what I said was dumb. This is how I felt about it. And then you having the adulting or the adulthood to actually accept an apology and understand this is a situation that was not premeditated. I feel like relationships would benefit more if people actually knew how to talk to each other and if they knew themselves more. Like, it takes two. If you really want a relationship to work, two people have to come together. If one person decides it's not going to work out, that's how divorces happen. You can love somebody all you want, but if the person says, you know what, I don't think this is working, I don't want this, I'm done. That's it. And that relationship is not just about love. It's about work. Your job, your office, you really want to do a great job, but your boss doesn't exactly understand you. Your boss doesn't listen to you when you communicate. So it takes two. One person who communicates effectively and also chooses to understand what is going on, and the other person who does the same thing. Whether it's in relationships or it's in friendships or in family, even parenthood. Like, now my relationship with my parents have become different. Not better, not worse, it's different. Not because I'm an adult, not because I'm in the US, but because we communicate better about ourselves and to each other. And I think that that's the way to go. Is it easy? Probably not. Is it worth it? Yes, definitely, because I still feel disagreements, I still miscommunicate, I still get misunderstood. One of my biggest fears is actually to get misunderstood. That's why I write a lot, I make a lot of content, and I speak a lot. Because I don't want to be misunderstood. I don't want someone to think that I said something when I meant something else. And sometimes it hurts my feelings when that happens. And I am more confident now reading all these books and thinking about things differently that it's going to happen a lot more. And when it happens, it helps me know where I need to work harder. So it's not a failure when I make a video that sucks or I write an article that doesn't get read. It's a data point that I can use to study. It's something that I can use now to grow and become better at whatever it is I'm trying to do. So 5 months, I can't work, I got married, I saw snow, I plowed with a lawnmower, got tons of blisters, I drank Starbucks, thanks Leah, and I generally feel like 2019 and the rest of my life will actually be different from everything that I've had. Not better, not worse, just different. Now, different can actually take two directions. Is it in the positive direction where you want to be that could take decades? Is it in the worst direction where you actually don't want to be no matter how long it takes? That's how I want to look at life. That's how I want to look at this channel. So what I'll be doing is actually putting my content in 3 buckets. You have the creative life, where I'll be talking about my journey as a creative, as a writer, as somebody who consumes a lot of content, to talk about things that affect me and lessons that I've learned from other people, so that if you want to actually be able to do the kind of thing that I do, whether it's video or writing or whatever it is, I will show you what I've learned and point you in the direction of people who have taught me a lot of things. That is what I'm going to be covering in the creative life. Then you have the immigrant's point of view, which is now that I'm here in the US, what are the things that I'm seeing that are different from what I was in Cameroon? What are the kinds of food that I'm eating, the places that I'm going to, the mindset of the people here, or my mindset as it's changing because I wasn't born here? What are the things that have become different? I'll be putting all that in the immigrant's point of view. And finally, I will have books and things, which if you've been to Boya, you know exactly where I took that. Monique, I'm looking at you if you're watching this. And books have taught me so much more and books have been written by people. I don't like people. It's something I tell my wife, and it looks like a joke, and weirdly enough I'm making a video and saying that you should watch it. I'm saying I don't like people because I find it difficult to communicate verbally when I'm with human beings. I am more of a logical thinker, so I tend to write better than I speak. So when I talk with people, I easily get misunderstood, and I hate to be misunderstood to the point where I prefer to not talk to people. A book, on the other hand, doesn't give you judgment. A book doesn't tell you what to do. Well, it sort of does, but a book doesn't come into your face and then provides all these non-verbal cues that I tend to overread. So I've been reading for a very long time, but I've never really documented my journey as a reader. I've never talked about the books that I read and how they affected me and done anything like a structured review. So I'll be doing, in Books and Things, I'll be doing reviews of books and podcasts and other content I've consumed, whether it's articles on Medium, people that I really care about, that have written things that I like, and content around things that I'm learning. I feel like this channel is going to change a lot as time goes by, but my single goal is actually to basically get to make more videos. I want to start a Patreon at some point in the future because I feel like if I don't prove to you that I can be consistent with making videos, then what proves that I actually do what I say I'm going to do? I need to be able to do the things that I say and say the things that I do. I want to be able to actually say, if I'm going to ask you to give me something, then I should be able to give you something back. So here's what I actually want you to do. In the comment section, if you're watching this, I want you to tell me the kind of videos that you would like to see. You can write as long as you want, it can be as short as you want, you can send me emails if you like. I'm going to put all my social media connects down there. Connect with me on every single platform because I'm going to do a lot more content than I've ever done in my life. I feel like I'm in a place where I'm fighting, or I'm able to actually get comfortable with being uncomfortable and to be able to make the things that I like because I like them, not because you like them. But I want to be able to make those things because you also get something from it. Talking to a void is not fun. I want to talk to people who might actually learn something from me or teach me, because the more I learn, the more I know that I don't know, and the more interesting it is to actually talk with people and have these conversations where you're like, oh, that was interesting. I did not know that. And I like when I have to say that I did not know that. I feel like I learn more when I find that I'm wrong. I learn more when I find that something I was thinking about and believing was actually, it didn't make any sense. But the coolest part is when you read a book and then you find somebody for the first time, say in the bus station, like, oh, have you? So there's this quote in this book by this person. Oh yeah, by the way, you read the company. Yeah. Oh yeah. So whether it's a book or a movie or content or a podcast, I find that I love talking about the content that inspires me with people who feel equally inspired because it's like an experience. I don't enjoy, adrenaline rushes. I don't do high something sports. I don't do things that are fast-paced, that are too physical. I am an intellectual. I've always been. It's not about to change. I think about everything, which annoys the hell out of my wife because that's the big picture about the past 5 months. I'm sorry for not being able to put things up to you, but I really appreciate that you've been able to stick around. Subscribe to the channel, not because I will give you amazing advice, but because I want to grow something with you and I need your support. I need you to be able to show me that you are watching what I'm watching and I'm getting somewhere that is helping you. I want you to be able to keep me accountable. I already have 101 subscribers, which for me it's already more than enough. It doesn't matter how many people follow me, so far as you follow me. So if you're already subscribed to me, I will recommend that you click the notification button, because what happens is whenever I post a video, you will get a notification on YouTube that says that I have posted a video. If not, what happens is the algorithm messes up in a way that you probably never see my video unless you actually go and search my channel. So the easiest way to make sure that you get my videos whenever I post them is to click on that notifications channel. I'll also be posting a lot on other social media, including especially Instagram stories. I'm cutting down on other things that I feel like are not helping me, and I'm getting and doubling down on other platforms. And I really want to build this in a way that allows me to have a life. It's not just about content. I have a wife. We want to build a family. She's working really hard on her career as a medical doctor or medical student to be a medical doctor. I have a family, like my mother-in-law, my brother-in-laws. Is it brothers-in-law or my brothers-in-law, who are really amazing people who supported me. Like, I left Cameroon and came here. My wife and her family have taken care of me in a way that normally every single typical African man will feel weirded out. But in a weird way, I'm not. Like, they're nice people. People that really care about her, care about me, and who genuinely are good people, generally speaking. And when I think of people like Boris, for example, and his kids, and TP's wife, like, TP has this light. Like, there's so many interesting people in my life that I want to talk about, that I fear. The biggest fear for me with this channel is that I will talk about everything and nothing. But I'm making these videos so that if you want to hear more about those stories and you want to hear about anything and everything, let me know in the comment section. Let me know so that I can actually make sure that you get what you signed up for. And then as time goes on, I'll be getting better at production, getting better at making things, and who knows, I might start doing some really cool Peter McKinnon B-roll stuff, because Peter McKinnon has really put me in the mindset of, man, there's so many inspirational people on the internet that I want to share with you, and I feel like this is the best to share because I've learned so much from them. I'm learning on a daily basis, and I think I'll probably be learning till I die. And you might be sitting there wanting to write, wanting to create, wanting to do poetry, wanting to do anything, and you just don't know who to ask, wanting to read. Which book do I want to read? Which book do I read now? Which book do I don't know. Which movies should I watch? Should I watch Aquaman? Should I watch I don't know, Bigfoot? Was it Smallfoot? There is so much content on the internet that it's difficult to navigate without a sense of purpose, a sense of direction. And 5 months here have taught me that if I don't find a way to organize my life and the things that I care about, the family, my work, my dreams, it's going to get messy and everybody's going to lose, especially me. So stick around. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. I like that.